Good evening to everyone present here today. We have our product manager Jason D'Souza who will show us how to use the website more effectively and how to identify top rated stocks. Towards the end, we would also be having a Q&A session. Over to you, Jason.
Thanks a lot, Mehtab, and a very warm welcome to all investors gathered here today. Now, we might have a lot of new investors who have joined us and a lot of experienced investors who understand the market volatility and how to trade with stocks. But over the next 30 to 40 minutes, I will be giving you a walkthrough on the Markets Mojo platform. It will be a pure demo on all the features of Markets Mojo. And when Markets Mojo was actually founded, the main purpose was to solve the issues of retail investors. Okay, so the format of the webinar also will be slightly different, where I will show you what questions we normally get from retail investors and how Markets Mojo is trying to answer them. So as the topic name suggests, research, invest, and monitor. These are the three different things we'll be talking about today. Let's start off a disclaimer. So investment in security is subject to market risks. Past performance should not be construed as a guarantee for future returns. So now talking about some of the questions we get from retail investors. Before I start off this demo, let's look at some of the questions we get. And as I flash these questions on the left side of the screen, I'll also show you what answer we have on the right side. So when I'm flashing these questions on the left, you might be able to relate to them. Not today, might be sometime before in your investing journey, or might be sometime in the future. This question is, I'm planning to invest in the market. Is it the best time? Nifty has been volatile. The markets are at an all-time high. I don't understand what sector is doing well. Is it the best time to invest in the equity market? Do you have any ideas to start with? Should I just go and pick any random stock and invest in? Or is there any particular idea? Do you have any particular portfolio or particular screen or any particular group of stocks to invest in? Which theme or sector is doing well, large or small cap companies? And when I started off investing, the first thing I was actually trying to get in was in which sectors and which themes are doing well. I remember back in 2019 when I was starting off investing, I realized that a lot of banks and a lot of other banking stocks were in the move. So I thought, why should I invest in the banking stocks? So which theme or sector is doing well? This is also a most asked question. And from the 4,000 list of stocks, which can I buy and which should I stay away from? Okay, this is also another question. You might know there are close to 4,000 listed stocks, and you should have an answer for each of them. Should you buy, hold, or sell those stocks? So let's start by doing some research to better understand the situation. Let's see how we can actually answer these questions and give you some clarity on how to research. The first part of this event is how you can research using the Markets Mojo portal. To understand the market movement, I also I'm speaking about the latest results. So right now it's the results season. I don't know if many of you all know. All the companies come out with their earnings every quarter, every 3 months. And currently it's the result season. So I've highlighted this separately. This is a very important feature we'll be talking about to understand what's the earnings of the companies. Okay, we'll also deep dive into any stock on Markets Mojo, some of the investment ideas and screens. Now I've highlighted this as new. I don't know if any investor knows about the recently launched IPO section on Markets Mojo. So when any company issues its IPO, when it's first time going to be traded, when it's first time launched into the market, it comes out with an IPO. So I'll be also showing you the IPO section and how you can look into newly listed companies on the website, and research reports finally, which will help you get an overview of any stock which is being traded. So to understand the market movement, we have our market section on the website. Okay. Now what I'll do is, as I'm taking you across each of these answers, I will also take you on the website and show you how you can use those sections. So we'll go a bit slow from here. So to understand the market's movement, the market section is one of the most holistic and best pages you can actually understand. I'll take you to the website right now, and I'm going to research, and I'm going to markets today. This is the market section we're talking about. Okay. Now, as I'm on the market section, you can see over here, we have some of the indices over here like Sensex, Nifty, BSE 100, 200, 500. And if you see, this is the different range of periods we have on how you can analyze the different indices. So as you know, Sensex consists of 30 large companies. So today it was up by around 0.6%. You must have seen your portfolios going up. Okay, you can also see 1 week, 1 month, the year-to-date performance, which is from Jan 1st, and also the 1 year performance over here. And as you keep clicking, the right side of this particular thing changes. So for example, I'm on 1 year, the top gainer in Sensex for 1 year is M&M, which is 65% up. And the loser is Tech Mahindra, which is down by 30%. Okay, so this is how you can actually simply run across periods and get an entire idea of the different indices and how they performed period on period. If you scroll on the right, you can get sectoral indices. So remember I was talking about which sectors are currently on the run. This is one place you can actually look at different sectors. So we have different sectors like Nifty, IT, Pharma. How are pharma companies doing? How is the sector of IT doing? This is one place where you can actually look at sectoral indices. So if you look at Nifty IT, okay, so on one day it's up by 1.53%. Okay, so if you want to see which sector actually pushed the market today, you can just come over here and see. So again, Nifty Auto was up by only 0.24. But if you look at Nifty Metal, it was up by 3.78% in a day itself. So this is where you can get your sectoral ideas. And there's a lot more in this particular page. Okay, but one thing I would like to show our investors over here, I've also covered in my past events, is the advance and decline ratio, which gives you a better idea on what's the exact movement in the market. So for example, I'm selecting BSE 500 over here, and let's look at 1 day movement of BSE 500, okay, the top 500 companies. Okay, so here if you see Adani Enterprise is the top gainer at 19.7%, Adani Total Gas is down by 5%. Okay, the index is up by around 0.83% today. And this is one thing I was talking about, which is advance and declines, is to actually understand from the 500, BSE 500 stocks, how many are up and how many are down. So 355 are up and 154 are down. Okay. Now if I click on 1 year, you'll see the results. So BSE 500 in the past 1 year is up by 1.3%. Okay, so it's positive. But when you look at the advances and declines, you can see that fewer stocks have actually moved up in the 1 year and most stocks have declined. Okay, then why is it positive over here? It's up by 1.3%, but you can see fewer stocks have moved up and most stocks have actually gone down. So the advances and declines is one part of the page where you can actually get an idea of what's the inner movement in that particular index. You might see that already the market is up today, why is my portfolio down? Or the market is up today, are the stocks also up? That's where you can come to the advances and declines section of this particular page. Okay, and apart from that, if you scroll below, you get other important insights as to which are the top gainers in a particular index, so on and so forth. And we also have a full details tab, a full list tab on each of these cards to actually get a better idea of all the stocks in this particular list. Okay, so the market section is really useful to help you understand what's the current movement in the market, how are the different indices performing, and is there any strong undercurrent? How is the advanced declines turning out to be? Now moving on to the next one, which is the latest results, which is the results season. Okay, so we have a result season going out and we have this really nice result corner section on the website. You would be able to understand the earnings momentum or the earnings performance across indices, across sectors using this particular section on the website. So I'll go to result corner where if you go to research and you go to the last option, which is result corner. As soon as you land on the result corner page, you'll get a snapshot of how is the performance of the results of all the companies that are declaring. So you can see 1480 companies over here, this total stocks. That's because results declared has been highlighted. So all the companies that have declared results now, 41% are positive, 36% flat, and 22% negative. So it is some positive momentum. There is some positive news. Now, if you want to see last quarter, how was the performance, you click on previous quarter. It was 38%. So we have 41%, which is better. Let's go to June, a quarter before that, 40%. So we are still better. If you see the December 2022 results has really improved with, it's a slight improvement, but 41% of the companies that have declared results are positive. You can scroll below and actually read how the result performance of each company has been. Has it improved from the past result as well? And one thing which is very important, which I don't think, I've gone through many websites in India on stock market, but I don't see this particular filter over here. This particular column over here, which is return since results. So the company has declared results, but what has been the performance since the day of results is very important to know. The company might declare extremely good results, and it might be very positive on Markets Mojo, but how has the market reacted to it? That's where you can find out in this return since result portion over here. If you see the return since result, this is something which is very nice, where you can see the performance of the company since the date of the result. Now, as I said, you can find out the result performance across different sectors. So if you go to industry, now, one of the questions which I asked was, which sectors are on the move or which sectors look favorable right now? If you go to industry, you can select any of these industries over here, FMCG, finance, IT, and understand the performance of those companies. So I'll just highlight FMCG over here, the first option. Here you can see 34% companies are positive, 50% flat. So more of a flat trend in FMCG companies. Okay, so now let's look at finance and NBFC. Is it better? Oh, 32% positive. So they're not doing that well. So you can scroll below and get the idea of any of these industries, how have they actually performed. So let's see 2 and 3 auto wheel, 60% positive. So out of the 5 stocks, 3 are up. So if you want actually an idea on which, let's see cement. I want to have a look at cement. Okay, only 10% positive, 14% negative. 14 stocks negative, 73% negative. And you can see how the company has performed since the result. Okay, so this is a very important page right now if you're an investor. The earnings calls of many companies are coming out, and the companies are declaring how they've performed. You have to actually come to this page. When I invest currently, I always look at this particular page to get an idea on which companies could be on the up move. I try to see which companies have actually declared extremely good results as well. So the result corner for now, I normally come over here during the result season. So right now many people are on this page because we are halfway through the result season. But if you are actually researching on stocks, one visit a day should actually come on this particular page to understand what's the earnings of all the Indian companies. Okay, so moving on to this next part, which is deep dive into any stock. So the stocks page on Markets Mojo tries to cover each and every factor of that particular company. Okay, we try to look at everything possible, and we also make it easier for you at the end of the day. We're not going to overwhelm you with a lot of information. We'll also give you a buy, hold, and a sell rating on any stock you look at. Okay. So let's go back to the result corner over here. We're talking about the stock space. So what I'll do is I'll simply click on any of the particular companies over here. So let's look at Ultratech Cement. It's over here. And as soon as I click on any stock name, I enter the stocks page. So if you see Ultratech Cement over here, it's at 7247.75 and it's up by around 2.5%. It's a large cap company from the cement sector. If you scroll below, you can see the Mojo score. This is, I think, one of the most important tools in stock picking. We will tell you whether the stock is a hold rated, whether you should buy or whether you should sell that particular company. And if you see just below the score, we also have the previous score, which gives you an idea of the momentum or the change which is happening in that particular stock. So the score changed from sell to hold on 3rd October. So we are currently in Feb. But on 3rd October 2022, it was a sell and it's come to hold. If the performance improves, it can go to buy, and that's when you can look at entering this particular company. So this score and this previous score commentary is very important for you to understand what should be your call with this particular stock. Now, why it's a hold is more important than just us simply giving the score. We have few points over here on why we've rated the company as a hold. So it has healthy long-term net sales, but the negative results in December 2022. It's in a bullish range, but it's currently very expensive. So we are also explaining it to you that why it's a hold. Now, as you scroll below, there's a lot of information, and I'll not scare you with a lot of information today. I'll take you to some of the key important parts of the particular stock. Okay, so as I told you about the result, you also get the sector result trend. This was recently introduced last year. So since you're on a cement company, we will tell you how the cement companies are performing in December. Okay, so you get an idea of the overall industry. So the score which I was talking about is actually broken down into 4 different dots. Okay, so if I show you those 4 different dots, you can simply go here to Mojo parameters. And in Mojo parameters, we break down the score. So we have these 4 different indicators, which is quality, nothing but the long-term financial performance of the company, which is good. We have the valuation, which is the attractiveness of the stock, basis its fundamentals. How is it attractively valued? Is it expensive? We have the quarterly financial trend. So every quarter which comes in with the results, we rate that as well. And finally, we have the technicals parameter of that particular stock. These 4 factors work together to finalize the final score of the company. Okay. I'll break down each of those 4 different parameters for you so that you get an idea of how the rating happens. So starting off with quality, if you click on quality over here, we look at management risk, growth, and capital structure. Okay. And the quality ranges from below average right up to excellent. Quality as a word itself sounds subjective, but what we here at Markets Mojo try to do is we try to objectivize the quality of a company and look at different parameters such as, let's say we're talking about growth. So we look at the sales growth for like a 5-year period. We're talking about capital structure. We look at the debt levels. Okay, so we're looking at management risk. We look at other things as well. So basis these different ratios, we finally calculate the quality of a company. So the quality here is not subjective. That someone gets up and says, the company's quality is good. Someone says, yaar, mujhe ye quality pasand nahi hai. It's completely objective. It runs on different formulas and parameters. Moving to the next one, which is valuation, the second dot. If you see currently the valuation is expensive over here. Now, just because the price is 7,247, we are not calling it expensive. To understand how expensive the stock is, we look at the price and different key fundamental factors, as you can see over here. So we look at the PE ratio, the price to book value, EV to EBIT, EBIT to EBITDA, and all these ratios. Towards the right, this is something which is very interesting. We'll also give you a valuation snapshot as to if the company is expensive today, attractive, very attractive, so on and so forth. Okay, so this particular range gives you an idea on how attractive or whether the company is expensive right now. So you can see the price is 7247, and based on the price and earnings, we believe that from 6233 to 8355, the company is an expensive range. Okay, and the fourth dot, which is the financial trend. So you can see the company has declared the results for December 2022, and that particular financial trend score is -9. Now, what is this financial trend score? We break down the December quarterly results. We look at the sales, the profit, and a number of factors. Okay, it's just not top line and bottom line. And then we come up with the final CFT score for that particular company. Okay, so as you can see over here, what is CFT? Scroll down below, you get an idea of what all has been working for the company and not working. So net sales at 9 monthly has grown year on year. But many things are not working for the company, like the profit after tax has fallen. Okay, profit before tax has also fallen year on year, so on and so forth. So then we come up with the final score of that particular company. So if you see this financial trend score, which is 9 over here, this 9 has been reflected over here at 9. Okay, so if you see my screen, the score, it's got a -9 score over here in December. It's come over here in this particular chart. And this price movement over here is actually the stock's price movement. So if you see, there is some correlation between the price movement and the earnings financial trend score. So for example, when the score was extremely good at 2021, the stock price also moved up. Okay, and as it came down over here with the financials being bad, the price also fell. Okay, but you should understand some stocks might be commodity in nature. So, even the price of that commodity affects that particular stock's price. This is not the best example to show you how good the correlation is, but I hope you get an idea on how we look at financial trend score as well. Now, after we look at these 4 dots, we then come up with the final score. So currently the score for UltraTech Cement is hold. Okay, as these 4 different dots improve, let's say the valuation becomes attractive. Let's say the financial trend, which is currently red, becomes green, positive, very positive. The final score also improves, and then that stock might enter into the buy category. Okay, so I'm done with the 4 dots and that particular score. There's a lot more data as well, and I'll not take you to them, in depth all today. But what I'm trying to say is here, you can get all the analysis you require about the particular company. For example, let's look at the shareholding of UltraTech Cement. So if you click on shareholding over, you can actually understand, okay, the majority shareholders are promoters. Grasim Industries, another listed stock, is actually the promoter with the highest holdings. You can see a 14% FIs are currently invested, 13% mutual funds, so it's an even breakup. Also, you can see if the company's FIs holding is increasing. So for example, it was 13.12, then it became 14.05 and 14.11. So there is interest by institutions in this particular company. Similar with mutual funds, it was 10.12 in December. This year it's 13.76. So you can understand whether FIs and mutual funds are also interested in this particular company by coming over here. So this is overview of the stocks page on how you can deep dive into any stock. Moving on to the next part, which is one of my most favorite features, if you ask me personally, it's the Mojo screener section. Mojo screeners helps you either put your own analysis and get a list of stocks, or we also have pre-filled ideas to help you get a list of stocks. So let me take you to Mojo screeners. If I go to research and then I go straight to make your own screener. So we have 3 different parts over here, which is the investment ideas, the logic screener, and the expert screener. What's the difference between these 3 screeners? Very simple. In investment ideas, we create the screeners for you. You can see 3 green dot companies. So the different dots I was talking about, the first 3 dots, quality, valuation, financial trend, is green. 3 green dots, all caps. Consistent performance, companies which have shown a consistently positive financial trend. As you hover over any of these particular options, you get the meaning of what exactly those stocks are. Logic Screener helps you actually add some of our Mojo parameters like quality, valuation, financial trend, and get your list of stocks. Finally, we have Expert Screener over here. So this Expert Screener actually helps give, what we do in Expert Screener is that we take all the different parameters and ratios and we leave it in your hand. And we say, search your own stocks if you can. So Expert Screener is some place if you want to do your own analysis. If you want to, actually search stocks which fulfill your criteria, is when you can come to this particular section on the website. Okay, so what I mean by this, right now I'm sitting over here and I'm trying to think to myself, are there any private banking companies, which have good quality and let's say, have done very well in the last 3 months. So there's an idea in my particular head. I want to search this list of stocks. I can do that simply with these filters. So I said private banking companies, I can go to industry, private banks. Okay, so I've selected industry, I've selected private banks over here. So I said private banking companies with good quality, so I'll go to quality and I'll select excellent and good quality. As I'm changing the filters over here, you can see the number of stocks here are also changing. And I'll also go to, I said did well in the last 3 months, so I'll go to return and go to 3 months. And I can select the return of 3 months criteria. Let's run the analysis. So you can see all the companies are listed over here, the private banking companies. They are good and excellent quality companies. And let's sort the 3 months return. So you can see here, RBL Bank has done the best in the last 3 months. 22.33%. Followed by HDFC, CSB, Equitas, Small Finance, so on and so forth. So Expert Screener is your place to actually do your own analysis and find a list of stocks. You can also go to investment ideas over here. Okay. One more really great thing about this is that after I make a particular screen, I can save it for myself to review later. You can see this floppy disk option over here. If you click on it, I can save it. So let's say I am going to call this private banks with good quality. Okay. And I'll just save it. So anytime next time I want to search, I can click on this hamburger menu and I can come on this particular screen again. So I don't have to every time make the screener. And we have investment ideas. So after expert logic, we have investment ideas. So here we make the screeners for you. So let's say you want to find out small cap companies moving at high speed. So if you click on them, you get the list of all small cap companies moving at high speed. So you can get a proper detailed explanation of what this particular thing means. Okay, so this is with the screeners on how you can have your own investment ideas or screens. Next up is newly listed companies, which is IPO analysis. And this is a very new section on the website. Our Chief Investment Officer and the investment committee carefully looks at all the new IPOs that are going to go in the market. We then do a complete analysis on that and we give you a call whether you should subscribe to that IPO and get the shares, or avoid that particular IPO. So what I'll do is I'm going to take you to the IPO section on the website. You go to research. Let's click on IPO. So as soon as I land over here, I can see this is the BSE IPO index. Okay, this is very useful to understand how the IPOs are performing. Okay, and you can also look at the listed IPOs. So you can see all the different IPOs over here. Okay, some of them are subscribed. So let's say Uniparts is subscribed. And we also give you the performance, the change from issue and the listing price. So if you see a 5-star business we had asked to subscribe, it's up by 20%, 27%. We were neutral on this particular company, but it's still up by a good percent. Okay, we asked you to avoid Inox Green, it's down by 27%, so on and so forth. Okay, so here you can actually see the performance of the IPOs we've asked you to either subscribe or avoid. So let's, you can click any of these IPOs and get an analysis on that particular one. Okay, so this is Keynes Tech. So let's see. If I click on Keynes Tech, I come to this IPO page. Slightly different from the stocks page. If you can see, we have subscribe, neutral and avoid. This is a nice video. You can actually hear why our Chief Investment Officer either asked you to buy or, avoid this IPO. What are the different factors, industry has great potential, improved financial, so on and so forth. And other important things about this particular IPO section. So if it's a new company, I don't know, since I think 2019 or COVID, a lot of investors were interested in getting IPOs. Mainly for the listing gains. As soon as they're listed, they come up with a good premium. Or they list at a very good premium. But we here try to break down not only looking at listing gain potential, we actually look at whether that company is worth holding in your portfolio for a good period of time as well. So the IPO section is somewhere where you can come and look at newly listed companies. Lastly, research reports, which is the end of the research section of the Markets Mojo. 2 reports I've written over here, which is verdict and switch out. Now, what do these 2 reports mean? I'll take you on the website and show it to you. So if you go to research, and let's go to verdict first. So you can see download research reports. Okay. Now let's say you don't have time to actually, go and look at the stock space, and let's say you're traveling, or don't have time to actually understand. The same company I was talking about, Ultratech Cement, you can simply get a research report on that. Okay, so you can just send it to any particular email address. Okay. So let's say I'm sending it to any particular email address right now, whatever it is. And you can select send report, and you'll get that report in your inbox. Or else you can simply download it from here itself. So you can see the best thing about this report, it says on 8th February, 7:26 PM. So you can see it's 7:26 PM right now. The report is as on date. You can see it's hold. So this report sums up the entire, I could say the entire the entire analysis of Markets Mojo on this particular page. So why it's a hold, is the stock for you, it's a low risk, low return company. As you scroll below, you can get the idea of everything of the company. So let's say management risk. Okay, let's look at the capital structure. It's a low debt company. How has the debt decreased over the period of time? You can see that. You can see 24,000 crores was the debt in 2020, it decreased to 15,000, so on and so forth. That's why the debt to equity ratio actually has decreased. So on and so forth. You can go through it in depth over here. So for example, here you can see this is the technical trend. So you can see all technical trend indicators are bullish over the company. This is the shareholding pattern. Okay, so mutual funds has increased. Remember I spoke about the particular card where mutual funds are increased. Here you can get the snapshot over here as well. Now one particular thing I like about this company is that it's the biggest company in the industry of cement. It's 31% of the cement industry by market cap. Okay, you can also get the pie. So Ultratech Cement contributes 19% of industry sales. So entire cement sales may say 19% is from Ultratech Cement and 28% of profit. So you can see even though it's not contributing much of the sales, it has a higher chunk of the profit. So when you talk about Ultratech Cement, it's not a very small company. It is the biggest company considering the particular market cap as well as the sales and profit. Okay, so this is another particular section, and factors which are not working, we cannot only look at the positives, factors which are not working, so on and so forth. And we also have peer analysis. So if you go here below, so towards the end you can see Ultratech Cement, okay, that's great. What about Shri Cement, Ambuja Cement? What is the market cap of those companies? What is the sales of those companies, so on and so forth. Okay, so the verdict report is really useful if you want to understand the company and you're not around your screen. You can simply download it, view it on your phone, or share it, view it later on the laptop, so on and so forth. But this is a really good report to actually get an idea about the company when you're not in front of your screen. So verdict report gives you an analysis on that particular stock, but switcher report is something which is slightly different. It will tell you what you should do with the current stocks you hold. Okay, so for example, let's say I'm holding Ultratech Cement, and you can see the score, it's at around 56. But let's say, I'm tired of holding this particular stock. I want to switch from Ultratech Cement to a better company. Which company can I switch to in my portfolio? So I'll just enter Ultratech Cement over here. Okay, let's say I have 100 quantity of Ultratech Cement and I'll run switcher. So it's asking me 2 questions. Do you want to switch to another company in the large cap or across the market? And if we had a better stock in the cement sector, it would have given me an option for that as well. But for now, let's say large cap. So it will look at Ultratech Cement and give me the best. So it's asking me to switch to Persistent Systems. I have 100 shares of Ultratech. Switch to 149 shares of Persistent Systems. And if you download the report, it will tell you why. Okay, so for example, it has negative results. You can see here the company has very positive results. Okay, so it will give you an idea on why you should do that particular switch and 2 other choices. So across this market, you can go to this particular company or Sonata Software. Okay, so this is the particular research section of Markets Mojo where we give you an idea about the particular market. Okay, there's also information about the result corner. I'm just trying to sum it up. So as we spoke about the result corner section on how you can understand the earnings momentum or the earnings performance of the companies or different sectors and industries. Stocks page, which gives you the final score. Buy, hold or sell. What should I finally do with it? Okay. Then we have Mojo screeners, which are really one of my favorite particular features where we talk about different ideas to invest in, expert screener, so on and so forth, IPO analysis for newly listed companies, and finally the verdict and switcher report, which I was talking about. Okay, so this is more about the research part of Markets Mojo. How you can actually start off investing in the equity market, how you can read about companies and understand what to do with them. Well, that's great. I know the next question in your mind is, all this is great, but which are the top stocks I can invest in today? What if you don't want to go through this extensive research and find your own stocks? What if you want us to actually pick those top stocks and give it to you? So for this, we have our Mojo stocks, which is our top 1% rated stocks. Let me quickly take you to the Mojo stocks section on the website and show you what exactly is this top stock section. So here you can see we have a current list, our top 10 rated stocks across the market. Then we have our large cap section. So large cap rated stocks, mid cap. Okay. So you can see out of 295 mid cap stocks, we only have 11 which are top rated. So this is like the top 1 or 0.5% of stocks. Small cap. So like that, we also have micro cap stocks. But my point here is that we will give you an idea of all the stocks which are top rated across different sectors. We also have a full list over here which will give you an idea of how these stocks have performed over a period of time. So example, Dollar Industries, it entered on 19th November, exited on so and so date, is given 151% returns. So you can see all the green ones are the ones which have gone up, and we also have our fair share of failures where the companies have gone down. But if you see, the number of companies which have gone down is far more less than the companies which have gone up. Okay, and the good thing about Mojo stocks is you don't have to do much of your homework. We look at the companies and we tell you which stocks you should actually go about investing in. So if you don't want to actually go on the website and do all the hard work, if you don't actually enjoy it, don't worry. If this is great, we have the top stocks you can invest in. Also, I mean, this is what we have actually found out. Many investors already have a portfolio and they only want to invest, let's say one stock. What we do is we give you that one best stock to invest in each month also. So this is handpicked by our Chief Investment Officer, which is called the Stock of the Month. What our Chief Investment Officer does is that he looks at the best Mojo stocks currently, and from that he will give you one stock every month to invest in. Now I don't suggest you going every month and investing in one stock, but if you have, if you want to put in money with one stock, this is the one good section to come to if you go to invest and stock of the month. Okay, so you can see currently Jan 2023, the market was a bit bearish, but we have Exide Industries down by 1%. Okay, so here you can see the performance and also the call is open or closed. And if you click on it, you get an entire report on why it was recommended. This is rights, why it was recommended, what does our Chief Investment Officer feel about the company, so on and so forth. Okay, and this has been the performance of them. So ITC is open at 38%. Okay, and one good thing over here is that if the company is not performing well, let's look at Nalco for example, it was down by 32%, and we close the call. Okay, we'll give you an update on when you should exit that particular stock after you invested in, which is very important. So you can see Tube Investment up by 54%, Varun Beverages up by 120%. There are companies which have gone down as well. But what I've noticed personally is that if you go to the ones which have been recommended quite long ago, they have actually gone up well. So let's look at EID Parry. It's still open. It's recommended December 2020. It's up by 58%. Okay, so here you can scroll towards the right and actually look at all the stocks which have performed, so on and so forth, and whether it's open or not. So this is one top stock to invest in each month. Okay, so now that you understood how to actually research and also got an idea of, if you want to invest in the top stocks directly, how you can do that. How do we go about investing in them? Now that you have the list of stocks, you know what to do, how you actually go about investing in them. Should you buy all stocks which I discussed about? Should you open any particular screener and invest in all the stocks? Should you simply buy all stock of the months? This is the one question which will obviously come in your mind. Now that you have the list of stocks to invest in, you can track your ideas via the watch list, or you can invest in them using the portfolio section on Markets Mojo, and we will tell you when the call on the company has changed. Okay, so for example, you bought a company and then it rating turns to sell. We will send you an email as to what you should do now. So for example, let's say I was talking about Ultratech Cement, okay? So I'll go back to Ultratech Cement. Okay, here you can see I have an option to add it in my watch list. Okay, so I can also add this particular stock in my watch list and I can then start tracking this particular stock. You can see Ultratech Cement is in my saved list. The score is 58 And one good thing over here is that you can see the return since the date it has been added. So I added it today, the stock is up by 2.52%. Okay, but if I added, let's say 10 days ago, I can see the return performance of that company since the date it was added in my watch list. So I might get an idea whether it was a good ad or not. And apart from that, in this particular score, you can see a lot of other things. Let's say the high low. So the day's high is so much, the day's low is so much. The all-time high, the all-time low is so much. Things like the risk of the company, liquidity ratio, so on and so forth. So watchlist is good if you have a particular stock idea, but you want to start tracking it now. Okay, so even if I had visited these particular stocks sometime back. So it's also telling me, you had visited all these particular stocks. You can add them in your watchlist too, because I've frequently visited these stocks. Okay, and lastly, after the watchlist, we also have a portfolio section. So this is something really interesting where you can actually get an idea of your holdings. If you come on Markets Mojo before you actually invest in, if you already have a portfolio, you should come here and import your portfolio in Markets Mojo. It's purely because of the analysis you get after doing it. So let's say I have this particular dummy portfolio over here. It's for around 1,58,000. It's giving me an idea that this portfolio score is below average. So it's a problem where it's in the red criteria. And it's also telling me that the portfolio profile is aggressive. And if you go here below, you can see your TCS, Craftsman, out of these are the stocks I have. Now this is something which upsets me. Why is my portfolio score 58? Can I improve this and make it better? So if you go over here below and you click on this particular band over here, here is where you get an idea on why the score is not good. For example, let's look at the risk. It has medium risk, no liquidity issues, but it's highly concentrated portfolio. Okay, the quality is good, valuation doesn't look that great, and the financial trend is 77. So why is it saying highly concentrated? You can click on it. Okay, so it's saying that IT software forms 51% of your portfolio. What we believe here at Markets Mojo is that when you create a portfolio on Markets Mojo, the stocks you hold across different sectors and market caps should also be diversified in nature. You can't actually hold all 4 stocks in one sector, or let's say hold all stocks in small cap sectors, so on and so forth. Okay, so here you can see the breakdown of those 4-5 stocks I have, how it's actually diversified. If any problem comes in the IT software sector, let's say the demand from US and Europe has dampened, my portfolio will take a big hit because I have so much exposure, so much risk into IT software. So here's where you can go and deep dive into your portfolio and understand the different problems. Okay, so since I have big allocation of TCS of IT software, what I can do is, let me add some company from a different particular sector. So let's say even out my portfolio. So let's go to top stocks. So let's go to top stock section. Wait 1 second. So you can see I'm on the top stock section. Let's look at Andhra paper. Okay, it's in the paper sector, not the IT software. Okay, so I have 441. Let's say I'll invest around, around 30 quantity, around 12,000 or roughly 15,000, and I'll save it to my portfolio. Okay. Now, it also said that I have a lot of large caps, so let me look at mid cap instead. I can simply go here and add that, so go through lifts in the cigarette sector, it's not a problem. I'm actually diversifying my portfolio, as you can see. Okay, let's add another small cap stock, let's say. Let's say we add Mrs. Bector's over here. It's an FMCG company. So I'll add to portfolio. Let's say I add some 30 stocks. Great, let's go to the portfolio now. Okay, so now it's 2,04,000, and here you can see my portfolio score has improved from below average to good. Mainly because I've started diversifying my portfolio with top stocks. Okay, so here you can see if I go below here, and let's look at the diversification now. It's still highly concentrated, but yes, my score has improved because the stocks in that portfolio has improved as well. Now if you see, Yes Bank has a sell score of 74, so I can simply sell this particular stock. I don't even hold much quantity. I'll select 15 quantity, done, and sell it. Great. Okay, so here is how you can actually make different changes in your portfolio and track. After doing all this research, looking at different investment ideas, if you don't add it to your watchlist and portfolio, it doesn't make much sense because you're just simply doing research. You're not actually investing in them. The benefit of adding them in your watchlist and portfolio is that we will send you an alert if that score of that company has changed. So let's say I have, let's say this particular stock NIIT, the score changed to sell. So let's say I was holding it and it changed to sell, I can make an exit. And that gets you a 360, movement into your portfolio. Investing in the stock market is not a one-stop approach. Like, I'll buy 10 stocks and leave the portfolio for 10 years, 12 years. The story of buy and hold doesn't even work in today's dynamic changing scenario. You will have to monitor your portfolio as well. Okay, and we also have the watch list, the result alert over here. So for example, I hold a particular company in my watch list or portfolio, and there's a particular result alert. So the earnings call has come for that particular company. We will tell you how that company has performed and what should be your next call. There are more benefits. You'll get a notification as well, an app notification. So once you're done researching and investing, simply just add them in your watch list and portfolio so that we know you hold those stocks and we come back to you saying, Jason, that you hold this particular stock. We are now telling you to remove this particular stock from your portfolio because the score has changed to sell and why it has changed to sell. Okay, so research across all 4,000 companies, even the newly listed ones, or look at investment ideas. You can invest in any of our top rated stocks and also monitor your stocks, which is very important, by adding them in your watch list and portfolio. Now, most of the features I spoke about, like the score, the different Mojo Professional features are all paid, which are exclusively available only to our Mojo Professional members. If you like the features and products of Markets Mojo, we have an interesting offer for you. It's 26,999 for 2 years, plus 3 months free only for the webinar attendees, plus free mutual fund transactions. Okay, so what is this free mutual fund transactions? We'll be having a webinar on Friday itself. And if you are interested in getting these benefits, this is the best time. I'll ask Mehtab to drop that particular link in the chat box. And let's open the floor for question and answer. Do ask me any question on the website about the different features and I'll be really happy to answer them. Over to you, Mehtab.
The first question is from Mr. Saurabh. Dear Jason, thanks for once again helping us with understanding better. All the webinars have helped us so much to get the maximum potential from the website. Just a question, if we create a custom screener, will I get update if any stock moves in or moves out from that screener?
No. So currently, first of all, thanks a lot. And I'm really happy that you like these webinars. And I'm also happy that nowadays a lot of people are actually sending feedback on what webinars to do next. So keep sending them so that we get new topics and new ideas to actually cover up. Responding to your question about adding a stock to a custom screener, if the stock moves in and out, no, currently we don't have that feature. I've been in talks with the team on actually implementing them. It's in top of my list. So surely I'll give you an update as soon as that can be introduced, and I'll let you know if any other investor also wants this particular feature. Simply drop it in that particular chat box, and then we will look at if we can implement this. Thanks a lot.
The next question is from Mr. Kumar. Sir, is the portfolio score based on the weighted score of the stocks we hold, or there are other parameters also involved?
Sure, I'll take you across that. So that's a nice question. So if I go to the portfolio, your first part of the question is yes. We look also at the scores of the stocks you hold. So if you hold a lot of sell-rated stocks, you'll obviously have a below average or a poor score for your portfolio. But if you skip my screen over here, okay, so apart from the score which you're talking about, we also have 7 different indicators where we look at the rating. So let's say if I hold all top rated stocks from the banking sector only, my diversification will be highly concentrated. So we look at these 7 different indicators along with just the score of the company. So the 7 different metrics involved are these 7 different indicators. We won't look at returns. We look at risk, liquidity, diversification. We'll also look at these 3 dots. And then we'll come up with the final score of the particular company. So for example, if you're asking me, my score is 68. What if I add, let's say a company in my portfolio which is heavily sell-rated and a very big quantity. Let's say I add Yes Bank. And let's say I add 50,000 quantity, a big amount. Okay. Now it's obvious this particular score, let's see, my score has dropped to 33. Okay. Now it is also because the weight of Yes Bank, let's say 8,55,000. All my other stocks are hardly 10, 20,000 or 70,000, the maximum one. So yes, you are right. It's also depending upon how much of the poor stock I hold in my particular portfolio. And it's a combination of other factors as well. Yeah.
The next question is from Ms. Ananya. Hi team, thank you for the informative discussion. I have 2 queries. Which of the shown features are paid and which ones are the ones that we can access as a guest viewer? Secondly, how much trust can we show on the financial reports, as in if a company is indulging in accounting fraud, Can Markets Mojo identify it?
Okay, so which of the features showed are paid? I think most of the features showed are paid. The ones which are free, I'll take you across it. If you're simply tracking your portfolio on Markets Mojo, that's something free. If you're tracking your stocks on a watch list, it's free. But the score of those each stocks won't be available to you. Also, the stocks page which I was talking about, if you simply want to go through the price movement and all of those things, that's free. But if you want to look at the score of the company, that is particularly paid, a paid feature. So to sum up, most of the features are paid. So where we actually help you and give you a final answer, those features are paid. But if you simply want to go to the website, let's look at the market section or look at the stocks price movement, the place where you have to actually look at and do your homework, that's currently free on the website. Okay, and so I like this one particular question on how much trust we can show on the financial reports. We treat financial reports with very high. We do a lot of checks and balances before we look at any financial report. So I'll just take you through some of it. Let's say a particular company, has declared its results. Okay, now that data from the particular data provider comes to our particular system. We have some preliminary checks over there itself. Let's say the sales has increased massively, let's say by 300%. Okay, so then that result won't get directly fed into Markets Mojo. We have a team which looks at those particular results. Is there a mistake from the data provider? Is there something wrong, reported by the particular company? We look at those particular things as well. And then only we enter it in our particular system. Okay, and once those results come in our system as well, our CFT score is quite smart into actually understanding whether those results are high quality. Okay, we're not talking about reporting quality, we're talking about earnings quality. Is that particular company's results with high quality? What I mean by that is, let's say a company declares profit. And let's say 90% of that profit is from its non-operating functions. Okay, let's say it's a cement company. But 90% of its money which has come is, let's say, from textile or something random. That will be highlighted by a system. We'll actually look at the non-operating income of that particular company. Many other things. We look at cash flow from operations. So let's say the company has very high net income, very low net income, or let's say vice versa, but that cash flow of that company is not supporting. Let's say the net income is extremely high, 1,000 crores, but the cash flow itself is, let's say, 150 crores. Then where has that company generated its income from? So when the data enters the system, we have some checks. After the data is also entered the system, we run many checks. Because earnings and fundamentals is very prime when it comes to actually analyzing a stock, and we cannot go wrong over there as well. So I hope I am able to answer both of your questions.
The next question is from Miss Purnima. Your advice on Titan. I have good numbers of scripts with me.
Sure. So my advice is, what the site itself says. I follow the site as well. So currently, if you go to the site over here, we have a score of 65. So if you just share my screen. Okay, so here you can see the score is 65 and very close to buy. So it's a good time to hold this company, ma'am. I don't think you have to worry about anything. Let's look at the financial trend to get an idea of. So the company has declared its results and it's around 12 score. Okay, so it is positive as well. And you can find things which are working for the company. So the near-time profit is good. Net sales is highest in the last 5 quarters. I mean, there are positive factors about the company which are outweighing the negative factors. The score is currently 65, so it's fine. You can continue to hold this particular company. Yeah.
The next question is from Mr. Santosh. Can you share your view on RCF's result?
Sure, let's go to RCF. Okay, so I am not, you're talking about Rashtriya Chemical and Fertilizers. Okay, so let's go the company, the score itself is saying strong buy, it looks very good. It's a mid-cap company. Let's go to financial trend because you asked me about the results. Okay, so here if you see, this is a good example of if you just hide the question, I'll just show you a good example of how the price is moving. This is the price with the financial trend score. The green dots, the green bars over here, the financial trend score. Now, since you asked me about the result, I'm coming to the financial trend. This financial trend is very positive. It's 22. Okay, and it is also increased from last time, which was 21, marginally up to 22. And if you see, the price has actually moved well as soon as the green bars have started coming. When we had these red bars, the price was moving down. But since June 20, the company has moved up very handsomely. It's currently at 111. Okay, and let's see, look at the results. You can dive deeper into the results. So things like the profit before tax is working. The net sales has grown each in the last 5 quarters. And it's the highest currently. So the trend looks very positive for the particular company. Now, it's not a Mojo stock, but it's a strong buy rated as per the market smooth system. And if you want to know more about the company, you can also go to financial and look at the results. So if you see quarterly results, December 2022, since it's a seasonal company, we look at last year's December quarterly results, it's up by 70%. It's a big jump. 70% increase in the profit as well. Okay, so you can look at the financials of the company and dive deeper. If you ask me my personal view, the numbers look extremely good. Okay, it has a score of 22 currently. It's not a Mojo stock, but it looks like a strong buy. So you can always go with the score of the company, which is displayed on the website.
The next question is from Mr. Shah. Jason, good evening. Apart from stock score, which parameter do we set for exit criteria? Because sometimes hold rated stocks give negative returns instead of hold. Exit is better in some cases. Please guide.
Great. So if you're holding, so let's say let's break it down even further. If that particular stock was suggested as a stock of the month and you have to exit, we'll come back to you. Okay. Now, apart from the score, I don't think you should look at other parameters when it comes to exiting a company. But one of the things you can look at within the score, which I have spoken about, is, if it's a strong hold or a weak hold. What I mean by that, if let's say the company is a strong hold, what I mean by that is 60 to 69. Okay, it's in the upper limit of that hold criteria. So let me show it over here. If you see my screen, if the company is from 60 to 69 over here, okay, it's a strong hold. And if it's from 59 to let's say 50, it's a weak hold over here. So the company is a strong hold and it's moving upwards, it's good to keep it in your portfolio. But if it's going to the weak hold section and it's moving downwards, it's time to exit. What you're saying is right. If let's say at 50 the score, not 50, let's say at 60 in the middle over here, and it starts moving down, now by the time it goes to sell, you lose a lot of money. So yes, from 60, if it's moving downwards, you can look at it. Another way to look at, within the score is also the technical parameter, which gives you an idea of the market movement. So if you see the weekly and the monthly parameters over here, now for this particular company, it's a split. In the weekly trend or the near-term trend is mildly bearish, but over the long-term trend, it's bullish. So this can give you an idea whether what's the movement. Let's say from weekly, it's red over here, and the monthly also turns red, then you know that the company is going down. Okay, but let's say the monthly is red over here and the weekly starts turning green, it might give you an idea, okay, it was down for a lot of time in the monthly positions. But now since this is turning green, it might start going up. So this is another indicator to actually look at. But I think, you cannot look at different indicators. The best thing is to look at one particular strong indicator, which is the score, which gives you a better idea. And I think apart from score, there's nothing much to actually look at, because if you look at, let's say, only one parameter, the valuation has turned expensive, so I'm moving out. That would actually not justify your reason. The score itself looks at everything and it would give you the best idea on what you should actually do with the company.
The next question is from Mr. Ramasamy. What do you mean by CFT score?
Sure. So this particular thing I'm saying when CFT, which is current, C for current, financial trend, FT. Every quarter when the company declares its results, so now December quarter is out, the company has declared results for December quarter. CFT score is December's quarter score. Then we'll have September quarter score, June quarter score. I've done a very extensive webinar on decrypting the CFT score. Okay, you can actually, I think you can search it on YouTube, and if it's not available, let me know. I'll send it to you from the chat box. CFT score is nothing but the financial trend. So the company declares its results. We look at the net sales, profit, operating profit, non-operating income, a lot of this, and we'll give it a final score for that particular quarter. So that is actually meant by CFT score, and you all can actually look up for the webinar of decrypting CFT score on YouTube. I'll keep it open for a while. That particular session of 30 to 45 minutes gives you an entire idea of what is CFT score, and how you can pick stocks using the CFT score as well.
The next question is from Mr. Rajgo. Jason, can you please throw some light on portfolio VAR? What does this mean and what effect it has on the portfolio?
Nice question. So I'll take you to track all your portfolios. And let's go to personal portfolio. I think VAR is near somewhere around risk. So if I go to risk over here, I think the VAR is not available currently because it's not been active for more than a month. Okay, so what I'll do is, if you could not share my screen, I'll just log in quickly to another account. Just 1 second. I'll log in through another account which actually has VAR calculated so you can get a better idea. Just a second. Yeah, sure. You can share my screen again. And let's go again to the risk. So this is another dummy account I have. And if you go to risk over here. So VAR is nothing but value at risk. Okay. And what it means is that so it's actually broken down. If you click on this I dot, you get an idea, example of that as well. So let's look at step by step. My current portfolio value over here, which is around 72 lakhs. Okay, so this is a portfolio which has a value of 72 lakhs. And if you go to VAR over here, it gives you an idea that there's a 1% chance on any day your portfolio can lose more than 9.41 lakhs. Okay, so VAR is an indicator which tells you about the extreme risks of your portfolio. No, in stats we call it about the extreme tail risks, because you look at your entire portfolio as a distribution over here, and at any, there's a 1% chance, okay, there's not a very big chance, there's a 1% chance you can lose more than 9.41 lakhs. Okay, VAR gives you an idea. It's, VAR is actually very useful when it comes to not only stock investment but through any business as well. We actually try to understand the extreme risk scenarios. So, we look at stress conditions over here. Let's say during COVID, none of you all must have actually seen, but your portfolio must have fell by, very big margin. Okay, but what VAR is trying to tell you is that there can be a chance that on any particular day, you can lose more than so much percent of your portfolio. Now, how is VAR calculated? I don't know if you're more familiar with stats. You look at different things like standard deviation, and we use a particular confidence interval. But if you come on the website, you can actually look at the VAR. You don't have to be very scared about looking at the VAR because there is a 1% chance only. But it will give you some idea on what's the extreme risk of your portfolio. So let's say you have a particular portfolio and you see that number is extremely high. Let's say you have a portfolio of 1 crore and your VAR is calculating, let's say 20-30 lakhs. You would be worried over there as well. So then you have to re-look at your portfolio. If you can't take that much risk, you can re-look at your portfolio. Try to reduce some of the small and micro cap stocks which are very volatile, and then your VAR can come down as well. So VAR is just an indicator of what. Are you aware of this risk and can you handle it? And if you're completely fine with that, it's okay. But if you're not fine with that, then you'll have to relook at your small and micro cap allocation and then try to put some other, large and mid cap stocks which are less volatile.
Next question is from Mr. Saundarajan. Jason, you are too good in your presentation, precise, concise and clear in your explanations. Thank you for an informative webinar. Does your site help in making profits regularly?
Yeah, thanks a lot. So does the site help in making profits regularly? I don't know the question I'm trying to ask. If you're invested in a stock, does it help you making profit regularly? So that's our goal. What we are trying here is that if you invest in a particular stock, we want it to go up and we want you to make profit on that particular stock. Now, one thing I would like to tell investors in the stock market is that we suggest you to invest in 10 to 15 stocks. And the reason for that is it can be possible that 1 or 2 stocks won't go up or 3 or 4 or 5 stocks don't go up. That's why we suggest you around 10 to 15 stocks so the rest of them actually move your portfolio up. Okay, and profits regularly is it's an impossible concept in the stock market. What I mean by that is I'm not trying to demotivate you, but I'm giving you the reality over here. Stock market is a non-linear, movement. It's not like the chart just goes like this. It can go like this as well, but it trends upwards. What I mean by that is that you might enter today and as soon as you enter the stock market, you're not making profits for let's say 3 or 4 months and you're really dejected. You can't actually exit over there. You have to keep investing because over a period of time, you will be able to make profits. So if you're asking for profits regularly every day, I'm thinking not only markets, but none of them can guarantee you in the market. But over the long run, we believe that the stocks you invest in using our analysis should make you profit and should actually help you in your wealth creation journey on Markets Mojo. Okay, so I think they were just cross our time, and I think that's with the Q&A session for today. And I'm really happy that most of you all have asked questions. I would really be more happy if you all drop some feedback on what other different topics we can cover on Markets Mojo. This was just a basic demo. I've done a lot of different, different webinars. If you all actually go on the website, you will actually see different webinars. But if there's anything else you all would like me to cover, simply drop it in the chat box. Tomorrow for our paid members, we have a Stock of the Month event. Remember, one of the features I showed about today was Stock of the Month. Our Chief Investment Officer will come here at 7 p.m. and reveal the best stock to invest in for this month. Okay, so we'll be shortly sending invites for all our paid Mojo Professional members. And before you all, don't forget, on Friday we have a very big launch of our mutual fund transaction feature. It would be at around 7 p.m. and it's available on the site to register. Looking forward to seeing you all come for these events. Goodbye and have a great evening. Thank you so much.